Hello everyone, welcome to Creativity with Jennifer. I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator and I am here tonight to do crafting with you with our Christmas in July series number 2. I hope you have enjoyed the Christmas series 1 and I look forward to crafting with you tonight as I am getting everything set up. I am going to give everybody a moment to get on. And I hope everyone has had a wonderful Tuesday. Oh, not Wednesday yet, Tuesday. Sorry about that. I have been going all day. Thank you. I hope everyone. Thank you for understanding on the last minute postponing on Sunday when I should have went live. My family, my husband's family came in from New York and it was a last minute decision on dinner. So I told them, yes, I would go with them instead of bailing out. So I do thank you for being flexible with that so I could spend some time with the family as well. All right, we're going to get started in a second. The only thing going on at the moment is I have my Sip and Kit class registration going on. Make sure you click on the link in the video that will be there after the video because I didn't have time to get it in there tonight beforehand. But make sure you go and get registered for that so you don't miss out on our Sip and Kit event. We're gonna have lots of fun. Hello Debbie, how are you? All right, we are gonna turn the camera now. I'm gonna get this moved around and we are gonna go ahead and get started with our projects. I have 3 projects for tonight. And remember, even though this is a Christmas in July series, it is also the free with purchase class. So the way you get the cards for tonight's project for free is to place a minimum of a $40 order with me by clicking the link in this video. And when you do that, I will then turn around and send you the projects that we are going to make tonight. So make sure you do that so you can get a jump on getting your Christmas cards together. And then after the video, I will make sure to go in and put the link in for the Sip and Kit class. So, and if you've never tried our Sip and Kits, if you've never tried the Stampin' Up kits, these are fabulous to get started if you are brand new to stamping or crafting, or if you are just needing a project with no planning or no prepping, because everything is in those kits. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead and turn it and get started. I have been doing a lot of cleaning, so hopefully the video is going to work correctly because I have been moving stuff around. All right, we should have a clear desk. I'm seeing that. Really wish I could get the stand out, but I cannot seem to do that. So we are going to just have to deal with that. All right. There you go. All right, so it looks like we have everything down and ready to go. Oh, I got a bad shadow on my desk, don't I? Oh. All right, hopefully it won't mess up once I start showing the projects. Okay, there we go. All right, hopefully it's going to be good. So tonight, let's go ahead and dive into, we are going to be using this beauty, Jar of Joy, Stampin' Up. This is a online bundle or stamp set, and it also goes along with, let's see, do I have it handy? It goes with, here it is. It goes with the bundle. This is what's good about this one. It goes with this sweet jar bundle, and it comes with the stamp, the punch, the sweet jar builder punch, and it comes with the stamp set. But they also came out with the Jar of Joy, which is the Christmas stamp set, but it also punches out the jar that is in the set as well. So, if you're interested in that, that is the set that we are using. Also, this is the set that will be used in my Christmas in July Escape event that is taking place this Saturday. So if you did not register, I do have a few kits left. If you're interested, just reach out to me. If not, make sure you grab your spot the next time so you don't miss out. All right, so this is the set that we are going to be using. So let me share the cards that we're going to be making. Because I am in love with these cards. And the thing that I love about Christmas in July is it gives me a great jump start on getting started with my Christmas cards, because I do make so many. This is a great way to go ahead and get started on those. All right, so here are the 3 cards for tonight. I hope you enjoy these. Now, the designer series paper that we are using, it is the marbled elegancy and also the regal distressed, and both of those are online exclusive designer series papers. All right, so I'm gonna just briefly get started. Let's get the cards back in their little folders so we don't get them mixed up. And then we will get started here. Remember, this is a free with purchase class, so place a minimum of a $40 order and you will receive all the products to make these cards for free. Okay, so here we go. We've got our envelope and our card, and I just stamped the jar on the envelope and then to match the card that we have here. All right, so let's start with this. We've got our card base. We're going to take it and go ahead and get it folded. I've already got it scored. So we're going to just take our bone folder and run across there and give it that great crisp feel there. Then we have a strip of the basic white, and I use the Eyelet 3D embossing folder. This is the Eyelet 3D embossing folder that I ran this through. And then we have a piece of the elegancy, what did I say? Marbled elegancy designer series paper. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to take our adhesive and we're going to put on the back of our our basic white. Now, because this is a 3D embossed folder, remember when you're putting your adhesive on it, go very lightly with pressure, because you will flatten your 3D image. So we're going to go ahead and put that on there. And then we are going to put our adhesive on our designer paper. Okay. I took my Christmas in July decorations today to work, and my coworker thought I was joking until she seen my office, and then she was so funny. She did a second take backing into my office because she thought she was imagining that I actually had. I have a Santa that is at the beach, and he is carrying his sand pail and his float to be in the water. And then I took some sand buckets, like the little sand castles and things like that that kids play with at the water, and put that in there. She thought I was joking, and then it was funny. I had a lot of second looks in my office today. But if you have not already noticed about me, is I love Christmas. Christmas, I think, is my best season. And so I do get a little carried away. Yes, I am a Hallmark junkie at this time. But this is about the only time I watch TV, because I don't sit and do a lot of watching TV. But I do watch Christmas in July series on Hallmark. All right, so now that I've got my ink pads opened and ready to go, let's get started with our projects now. We're going to take and stamp our jar in the black momentum. And then we're going to just kind of stamp it right off over here in the corner. All right. Now, we're going to do a two-step stamping. So, I have the first one here, and we're going to stamp that in Cherry Cobbler. And we're going to hold our fingers just right that we get this lined up correctly. So, we're going to put that right in our jar. Okay. And then we're going to take the second part, and I want to stamp it in Pecan Pie. And I'm going to move the card base over just for a second. We're going to stamp the second image in Pecan Pie. Now, this is where we've got to line it up correctly. So let me stand up and see. And this is the part that we're going to hope we line it up just right. Okay, yes, perfect. Okay, so there is that. Now we need to stamp our lid, and I'm going to stamp that in the Pecan Pie, and I'm going to stamp it right over to the side here. Now, to color that in, I am using the Stampin' Up markers. If you have our Stampin' Blends and you have the Pecan Pie, that will also work. But I am redoing some ways that I store my stuff, so my blends were not handy. So I just grabbed this one. So we're going to color that in. Now we're ready to take our punch, and we're going to turn our punch over, and we're going to punch the lid piece out first. Now, you could have done it all together because that is the way the punch is, but you really have to know where you're stamping, and your punch has got to line up. So I always just stamp separately, and that way I know I will get it right. So there is that. Now we're going to punch out our jar. Okay. And then we have an extra lid. You can either keep it or throw it away. That's totally up to you. And this one does have a little more white on it than I care for it to have. So we're going to just take our snips, and we're going to snip it off right at the bottom there. All right. So there is our jar. Now we need to stamp our sentiment And on this one, I am saying sending a jar full of cheer. So we're going to stamp our sentiment in cherry cobbler. Hello, Dora. I'm going to stamp that in cherry cobbler. And then we're going to stamp it right in the center. Perfect. All right. So that is all the stamping we are doing at the moment. So I'm going to get some of this stuff closed up. And then we will start over again in a minute. Oh, you're fine, Dora. I was late also coming on, so don't worry. That is the name of the game. I am always, as my daddy used to say, always a day late and $1 short. That is so true these days. So I'm always late, so don't worry. We are here. I'm just glad y'all are here on a Tuesday since it's not my normal go live date. So thank y'all so much for being here. I had to do some adjustments and it never fails. It's like it's so quiet on Sunday. And then when I go to post that I'm going live, then something comes up and I have to reschedule. And I really hate doing that. But I only get to see my husband's uncle that came down from New York. We might see him maybe 2 times a year. So anytime he comes through, I always try to reschedule and replan things just because we don't get to see him very often. And he's really a great uncle. Him and my husband went Sunday tubing down the river. I wish I was a fly on the river because from what I hear them talking, they were both tripping. But anyway, so let's get back to our card here. I am looking for my dimensionals. What did I do with them? Oh my goodness. You know we can't do cards without dimensionals. That would just not be right. Y'all know that. You know I like my dimensionals. All right, so let's go ahead and put our dimensionals on here. I'm doing 4 for the jars so it don't sag. Okay, and then we're going to take our pick tool here and we're going to take these backs off. And we're going to put our little jar right in there. Then we're going to take our mini dimensionals and we are going to put it on the back side of here. Whoops. And we're going to put 2 on that. All right. And then we're going to sit our jar right at the top of our jar. Come on. Oh, that's so cute. I just love it when it comes together here. All right, so we're going to put dimensionals on our label here. And I'm going to do 3 just because it is so big. And again, I don't want it to sag in the center. All right. So we're going to put that right there. All right. Now, we are going to take, and I am really sad about this. However, my ribbon that I am using tonight is the iridescent ribbon. And it is on the last chance list. So if you are interested in this beautiful ribbon, make sure you go out there and get you some, because it is on last chance. And that means when it is gone, it is gone. I'm so sad about it because I love this. And it's like a clear sheer ribbon. Seriously, I tied it during practice very well. It went just like a breeze. All right. Let's try this again. There we go. We do team projects during our monthly team meetings, and I've got the projects planned out that we're going to do this month when we have our team meeting, but I've really thought about changing it during Christmas. But I don't know. I don't know if everybody would like that idea or not. But I think it's a great idea. So we may, in our team meeting, may switch it up and do Christmas in our July team meeting. All right. And if you've ever thought about joining and getting great benefits and discounts and advantages of being a demonstrator, I would love to talk with you. If you don't already have a demonstrator, because it is so much fun, and the bonding and the friendship that you make is amazing. And then, of course, you got all the perks of being a demonstrator. And just because you sign up, don't think you have to do live videos and do classes and all of that. That is totally up to the individuals. That has nothing to do with being a demonstrator. All right. So if you're interested, reach out to me. I would love to talk with you. I am putting 2 glue dots on the back of our ribbon, or back of our bow, and we're going to stick our bow right at the top there. All right. And then I am so excited that our embellishment was a carryover, because these little things last year, we could not keep them in stock, so I did not get to do any Christmas with them. But they are, hold on, I don't want to show you my, these are the real red and white peppermints. These things went like hotcakes last year, and then when they finally came in and stayed in stock, then Christmas was over. So these did carry over. So I am so excited because I get to play with the candy canes this season. And I've already got some classes planned with them. So make sure you come to some of my classes so you can play with the peppermint gems as well, because they are so cute. All right. And then we're going to do one more. We're going to put this one right down here in the bottom. All right. So there is card number 1. And we've got to do our envelope now. So here we go. This is what I did. I did the little gingerbread. So we got to pull all of our stamps and our ink pads back out. And let's get the jar. Let's see. The lid, the jar, and our two-step stamping. All right, so we're going to take our jar and stamp it in the black momentum. And the jar is going to go right on the corner there. Okay. And then we're going to close. We're going to close that up. We are going to take our pecan pie, and we're going to stamp our lid right at there. Now we're going to take our inside to our two-step stamping. And the first is going in the cherry cobbler. And we're going to line it up to where it goes right inside the jar. And then we're going to take the inside and tap it in the pecan pie. And again, we hope this is going to line up. Identical to where it needs to go. Awesome. All right, guys, there is card number 1. Oh, did you, Debbie? Yeah, I mean, I tried and tried and tried and tried, and those jokers, they just kept going out. So I was so happy to see that they did carry over, because when they finally came in, I think I bought like 5 or 6 packs of them, and I was like, okay, now what am I going to do with them? Because it was too late to do Christmas cards. So I was hoping they were going to carry over. So thank you, Stampin' Up, for carrying over the peppermints. Because maybe everybody that used them last year will go to something different this year, so we can have a chance to play with them. All right, I'm just cleaning the stamps off real quick so we can do the next card. It will go faster than this card. This one was a little, a good many steps in it. So let's close this up. I like to close all the ink pads because it is so easy to get it everywhere. All right, so our next card that we're going to do is, I just love this, love it. All right, so what we're going to do is we've got our cherry cobbler cardstock. We have our basic white. We have our gold. And then we have some strips of the designer series paper. And this is called the oh my gosh. Regal Distressed Designer Series paper. All right, finally got it. So what we're going to do for the inside is I have a strip of the designer paper that we're going to just put our adhesive on. And then that's going to go straight onto one of the strips of the basic white down at the bottom. And then we're going to turn this over. We're going to stick this on the inside of the card. And then that will be all that we do for the inside of the card. And the designer series paper down at the bottom will give it some decoration for the inside. Now later I may go back in and write a personal note, or I will stamp something if I'm using this card going out. However, I have learned working my vendor fairs that a lot of people are wanting just blank cards for the inside, which really shocked me because I thought the cards needed something to be stamped on the inside, but a lot of the people that come through that purchases the cards at the vendor fairs really like it if the insides are blank. Shocked me. So now we got our piece of gold and our designer paper. We're going to take and put our adhesive on the back. And then we're going to put it straight onto our gold. And then you want to have just a little flap at the top and a little flap at the bottom. And it goes from end to end all the way. We have our piece of basic white. So you're ready. Nope, we got to put our ribbon around it. Don't let me forget my ribbon. We're going to use our iridescent ribbon again. We're going to roll it out. And we are going to tie a bow around it. Okay. We're going to take it. We're going to wrap it around. And then we are going to tie a bow on the end, hopefully. Let's get this scooted up. All right. So, here we go. Why is that so twisted? Hold on. Maybe because no, because it's twisted there. Wait a minute. I don't want my bow to be all wonky. All right. There we go. And I'm going to pull it a little tighter than I normally would. And that way it'll stay down once I put the adhesive on the back side of it. But I want it to make sure that when I go to tie it, it is snug. Okay. Bow's a little... yeah. That'll be okay. We'll make it work. We got a bow. We're going to just leave it alone. I don't like it, but we're going to leave it alone. You know how that goes. So we're going to just turn it over. This is how we're going to fix it. We're going to put some adhesive right here. And we're going to take our thing and we're going to pinch it and kind of fold it down. And that takes up some of the slack. Okay? Now we're ready to put our adhesive on the whole thing. Okay? And then we're going to take and put our bow, our paper kind of right in the center. And it goes from side to end there. All right. Now, we are ready to do some stamping. So let's move this out of the way. And we are going to stamp in Cherry Cobbler for this project. That is the only color we need. And we need to stamp our sentiment down at the bottom. And this time I am saying, may your hearts be filled with joy. So we're going to take this and we're going to stamp it straight onto the card. So hopefully it's going to come out straight and not be jacked up. Yes. Okay. Because I am stamping on the project. I don't like doing that very seldom because if it messes up, then you're messed up. All right, so we need a piece of scrap basic white. We are going to stamp our jar in Cherry Cobbler. And then we're also going to stamp our lid in Cherry Cobbler as well. Okay? Then we're going to take our ornaments. Maybe, yeah. We're going to take our ornaments and we're going to stamp them in Cherry Cobbler. And they're going to go straight inside of our jar. Awesome. All right. So now we're ready to do some punching. We're going to take our punch. We're going to punch out our jar. Okay. And then we got to take and punch out our lid. Come on. All right. And then, because I wanted this to be solid, I took the Stampin' Right and I just colored my top in. Because I didn't want the white. I wanted a solid lid. So we're going to just color that in. Perfect. All right. We're going to close the ink pad up. And we are going to take our gold circle. Now, I cut this out of the Spotlight on Nature dies. So I cut this out already. So we're going to take our dimensionals and we're going to pop it up. We're going to put 4 on our jar. And come on. All right. And we're going to kind of put our jar right in the center of our gold. We're going to take our minis and put our lid back on with the mini glue dots here. Okay, and then we're going, hold on. You can see that glue dot. I put it up too high. There we go. All right, so we're going to just kind of put that straight on our jar there. And then we're ready to put our adhesive on the back. And that goes directly onto the card. Just like that. Then you're ready to adhere the front to your card base. And this is going to go straight onto here. All right. So there is card number 2. Now let's see, what did we do with the envelope? Oh, okay. The envelope on this one, same thing. Whoops, we got to get our stamp ink back out. The same thing for the thing. We stamped our jar down here in the cherry cobbler. We just basically mimicked the card. We stamped the lid, and then we put the ornaments right in the center of the jar. Okay, these are some great, easy, simple Christmas cards, but beautiful. So remember, this is free with purchase. Make sure you start your Christmas cards early so you don't miss out on all the stress. Oh, with me doing this last year, I was able to send my cards out the earliest I have ever sent my Christmas cards. Part of it was because there's a church member that goes to my church, and she always has her cards ready to go out the day of Thanksgiving. She puts them in the mail the day before Thanksgiving. So then they start going out, and I put a bet on it that I was going to beat her last year. And that was my motivation. So with me doing the Christmas in July, that really boosted my card making. Plus all the classes I did too. I did several stamp camps and all of that fun stuff. So we got it done though, and it was amazing that I didn't have to worry about it after the fact. All right, so the last card. I love this one. I have never done this before, so it was an experiment. So let's see what you think. So with this one, I have the basic white cardstock. I have cherry cobbler. I have another piece of basic white that I embossed using the brick embossing folder. And then I used Pool Party. And then what I did to give it a spin is I cannot find my emerald something or another that we sell that I could use for snow. So what I did is I took the white refill ink and I took a water pen, which Stampin' Up does not sell anymore, but a paintbrush with a little bit of water, it would work just as well. So I took the brush and the ink and swirled it. So that is how I've got the different in the background there. So hopefully you can see that. All right, so let's get started. This is our last project for tonight. And then I got to get ready for coffee and a card in the morning. I got my projects in my head, but I've got to get everything prepped because I love my coffee and card with you guys. Join me at 6:15 a.m. If you can. If not, you can catch it on replay. Also, if you're on my email list, I do email that out. All right, so what I'm doing now is I've got a clear block. I'm going to put some of the white crafting refill on there. Then I'm going to take my painter brush, which, like I said, Stampin' Up! Don't sell these anymore. However, a paintbrush with a dab of water, it would do just fine. Or another paintbrush like this. But I put just a dab of water in it to make this little liquidy because it is very thick. Okay. Oh, we can do it like this too. We wouldn't even have to swirl it. Look at there. And that could be like our glue, snowflakes. Yeah, let's just do this. Oh, I like this. It's just a matter of getting in here playing with the cards. So with this one, I would probably go ahead and do this because this isn't technically stamping. We can't do any stamp damages when we go to send out stuff. So, but I could do that. Could do that because that's not technically stamping. All right, so we're going to wipe this off of our clear block. All right, get that all off of my block. All right, now, all right, we're going to just let that sit there a few minutes. Now, we're going to go ahead and take our scrap paper again, and we're going to go ahead and stamp our jar and our lid. And then we've got our gingerbreads again. All right. So that means... we need our pecan pie again and our cherry cobbler. All right. And we need our black momentum. All right, so we're going to stamp our jar. And we're going to go right under here. Right in that space. Okay. And then we are going to take our inside piece to our stamp set. And then we're going to take our cherry cobbler. Oh, Debbie, you're funny. Then you would really, really freak out if you knew what time I got up every morning. I normally get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, there's oxygen in the air at 6:15. All right, so there is that. And now we're going to do our second piece, and we are going to do our pecan pie. Even though I do get up at 4 o'clock, I do not start texting, talking, any of that kind of stuff. That is my morning devotion time. And then normally by 4:30, 4:40, I am at the gym. So yeah, I don't do social media and all of that until about 6 o'clock. So that's my morning. Yeah, that's what a lot of people tell me. Holy moly. Yep. All right, so let's take this. Oh, I wanted to go ahead and color this because it seemed to have done ease better when I did it before I punch it. This is Smoky Slate, and we are going to go ahead and color this in. All right. There we go. Now, we can go ahead and get everything punched out, and then we'll be ready to see what we're going to do with our other part. I may have to twirl it because that crafter's ink does take a moment to dry, so we'll have to see what it looks like when we get to that. All right, so there is that. Okay, now we've got to do our